Frankfurt, a bustling metropolis nestled on the banks of the main river, exudes an air of prosperity and sophistication. Beneath its modern facade, however, lies a tapestry woven with history, culture, and unfortunately, shadows of tragedy. In the annals of this vibrant city, certain cases linger, their darkness refusing to be extinguished by time. One such case, a chilling tale that sent shockwaves through the community, is the unsolved murder of Tristan Brubach. In the spring of 1998, the unthinkable happened. Tristan, a bright and gentle soul of 14, vanished without a trace. The city, accustomed to a sense of order and security, found itself grappling with the chilling realization that evil could lurk even in the most familiar corners. The disappearance of a child strikes at the heart of every parent's worst nightmare, and for Frankfurt, this fear became a palpable presence. As days turned into weeks, a sense of dread descended upon the city. Flyers bearing Tristan's innocent smile appeared on every lamppost, a haunting reminder of the precious life that had been stolen. The community, united in grief and desperation, rallied together, determined to find Tristan and bring his abductor to justice. The search for answers became an all-consuming obsession, but fate, it seemed, had a cruel twist in store. The discovery of Tristan's body on the outskirts of the city shattered the lingering hope that he might be found alive. The news spread like wildfire, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. The city that had once prided itself on its sense of security was now grappling with the chilling reality that a monster had walked among them, preying on the innocent. The question that echoed through every street and alleyway was a chilling one. Who could have committed such a heinous act? Tristan Brubach was a beloved son, a loyal friend, and a bright spark in the lives of all who knew him. Born and raised in the heart of Frankfurt, he embodied the spirit of the city, vibrant, curious, and full of life. Those who knew him best remember his infectious laughter, his kindness, and his unwavering optimism. He had a thirst for adventure, a passion for soccer, and a heart that overflowed with empathy for others. At 14, Tristan was on the cusp of adulthood, his dreams and aspirations stretching out before him like a vast, uncharted sea. He excelled in his studies, showing a particular aptitude for languages and history. His teachers often remarked on his quick wit, his thirst for knowledge, and his ability to light up a classroom with his infectious enthusiasm. He was a model student, a source of pride for his teachers, and a true friend to his classmates. Beyond the classroom walls, Tristan found joy in the simple pleasures of life. He could spend hours exploring the nearby park with his faithful canine companion, Max, a golden retriever with a heart as big as Tristan's. He cherished the time he spent with his family, whether it was sharing a meal, watching a movie together, or simply engaging in lively conversation around the dinner table. He was the heart and soul of his family, his presence a constant source of warmth and laughter. Tristan possessed a rare combination of innocence and wisdom that drew people to him. He had an uncanny ability to see the good in everyone, and his gentle nature had a disarming effect on those around him. He was the kind of boy who would go out of his way to help a stranger, who would stand up for the underdog, and who would always put the needs of others before his own. His empathy knew no bounds, and his capacity for love was as vast as the sky itself. March 21st, 1998, dawned like any other spring day in Frankfurt. The air was crisp, the sun was shining, and the city was alive with the sounds of life. For the Brubach family, it was a day filled with ordinary routines and anticipations. Little did they know that this day would mark a tragic turning point in their lives, forever etching itself into their memories as the day their world shattered. Tristan had plans to meet his friends at the local park after school, a usual hangout spot where they would play soccer, share jokes, and revel in the carefree joys of youth. He left home at his usual time, his backpack slung over his shoulder, his heart light with anticipation. He bid farewell to his mother, his cheerful, "See you later, Mutti," echoing through the hallway, a haunting reminder of the normalcy that preceded the storm. The walk from Tristan's home to the park was a familiar one, a route he had taken countless times before. It was a pleasant walk through a quiet residential neighborhood, lined with well-maintained houses, manicured lawns, and the occasional dog walker out enjoying the afternoon sun. The streets were safe, the neighbors were friendly, and there was no hint of the danger that lurked in the shadows that day. As the afternoon wore on and Tristan failed to show up at the park, his friends grew concerned. It was unlike him to be late, let alone miss their soccer game without any notice. As minutes turned into an hour, a sense of unease settled over the group. They decided to check Tristan's usual route, hoping to catch sight of him on his way. Their light-hearted banter faded into anxious whispers as they retraced his steps, their eyes scanning the streets, their hearts pounding with a growing sense of dread. As dusk began to settle over Frankfurt, casting long shadows across the city, the Brubach family's concern morphed into agonizing fear. Tristan's absence was deeply unsettling, a stark deviation from his usual routine. The family's initial attempts to locate him, phone calls to friends, checking familiar haunts, proved futile, deepening the sense of dread that had descended upon their home. Word of Tristan's disappearance spread through the community like wildfire, igniting a collective sense of urgency and concern. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers rallied around the Brubach family, their faces etched with worry, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that a child was missing. The search party grew with every passing hour, their shared anxiety fueling their determination to find Tristan. The police were promptly notified, and the investigation began, albeit with a sense of urgency that underscored the gravity of the situation. Officers fanned out across the city, interviewing potential witnesses, meticulously combing through Tristan's usual route and chasing down every lead, no matter how insignificant it might seem. The investigation was relentless, a race against time fueled by the hope that Tristan might still be found alive. The local media picked up the story, amplifying the sense of urgency and concern. Tristan's face, frozen in time in a missing persons poster, became a haunting image, plastered across newspapers, television screens, and community bulletin boards. The city held its breath, united in hope and fear, praying for Tristan's safe return, yet dreading the possibility that the worst had already transpired. Days turned into a week, and the search for Tristan continued with unwavering intensity. The weight of uncertainty pressed heavily on the city of Frankfurt, the palpable tension a grim testament to the collective fear that had gripped the community. Hope, though dwindling with each passing hour, remained a flickering flame, fueled by the unwavering belief that Tristan might still be found. The horrific discovery came on a bleak Tuesday morning, shattering the fragile hope that had sustained Tristan's loved ones and the community at large. A group of hikers, venturing off the beaten path in a wooded area on the outskirts of Frankfurt, stumbled upon a sight that would forever be seared into their memories: the lifeless body of a young boy, later identified as Tristan Brubach. The secluded location, far from Tristan's usual haunts, pointed towards foul play, confirming the community's worst fears. The news of his death spread like a shockwave, leaving behind a trail of devastation and disbelief. The city that had come together in hope now reeled from the collective grief of a life taken too soon. A young boy robbed of his future. The discovery of Tristan's body marked a chilling turning point in the investigation. What had begun as a missing person case now transformed into a homicide investigation. The pursuit of justice for a life brutally cut short. The focus shifted to finding the perpetrator of this heinous act, the monster who had shattered the tranquility of their city and inflicted unimaginable pain on an innocent family.